各位同事
Members, it is time to start the meeting. We have also formed a quorum. So I would like to hold the election of chairman for the 2015-2016 session of the panel on welfare services. In accordance with Rule 77(6), a member who is the chairman or deputy chairman of a government advisory body in respect of matters which we consider to be directly related to terms of reference of the panel shall not be the chairman or deputy chairman of the panel. The Rule 77(7) also says the member shall not be a chairman or deputy chairman of more than one panel at the same time. And then in relation to the procedure for the election contained in Appendix IV to the House rules, and in relation to Rule 22F, we can now elect the chair as well as the deputy chair. We need the nomination verbally by member to be seconded by other members. Nominations, please. Ms. Chen Yun-han, Mr. Felix Zhang. Any seconders? Mr. Leung Chi-chang seconds. I have to ask myself. I accept the nomination. So, Ms. Chen Yun-han, would you like to come over to chair the rest of the proceedings? Any other nominations, please? If not, I declare that Mr. Chen Kwok-chi has been elected as the chairman of the current session of the Welfare Services Panel. So, Mr. Chow, please take over the chairmanship. We now elect the deputy chairman for the 2015-2016 session. We need a verbal nomination by a member to be seconded at least by one other member verbally, and the nomination has to be accepted by the member nominated. Mr. Leung Chi-chang, I would like to nominate Ms. Chen Yun-han. Any seconders? Mr. Tan Kao-pyo. Ms. Chen Yun-han, would you accept the nomination? Yes, I do. Any other nominations, please? If not, then I declare that Ms. Chen Yun-han has been elected uncontested as the deputy chairman for the 2015-16 session of the panel on welfare services. Item 2 on the agenda, schedule of meetings. Tabled before you is a schedule of the meetings for the current session. So we'll be having our regular meetings on the second Monday of every month at 10:45, with the exception of the February regular meeting. The 8th of February is the first day of the Lunar New Year. So I would like to get your suggestion. In fact, the Secretariat has suggested that we should hold a meeting on the 15th of February instead of the 8th. So any questions? No? Then in this case, we will follow the schedule of meetings. Items for discussion at the next meeting. We are going to hold our next meeting on the 9th of November. For the item that has been suggested by the government, we've only got one, and it is an annual item, and it's about the annual adjustment of Social Security payment rates under the CSSA scheme and the SSA scheme, and issues relating to rent allowance under the CSSA scheme. So for the November meeting, any suggestions? And please also tell us what other topics are of interest to you, because I'm going to meet with the government next week. Ms. Chen Yunhan, I would like to pick out 2 points. First of all, social welfare planning. We hope that the government will have a discussion. Yes, welfare planning. We have 9 months more to run and will be interested in that. And then I understand that the government may want to amend the law concerning the torture claims. So I hope that the government will tell us what is in its mind. Ms. Chen, would you say that again? Torture claims. I think they came before. I think in theory it belongs to the portfolio of the security panel. Yes, there was indeed a previous discussion, but it is said that the government may amend the law further. So, of course, probably we need a joint meeting with the security panel. Perhaps it isn't so urgent that we should have it down for November. I just want to raise the topic with you. Dr. Helena Wong, I want the welfare-related officials to come here to report on the following. That is, whether they have tested for lead in drinking water at the welfare units. And then dementia patients and their carers. I want to know about the government's support services for such at the community level. So I want to know about the services at the community level as well as the support given to the carers. And then for child care services, I want to know about the planning, the demand, the supply for various districts. It is said that there is a report. I want to know about the report. It is said that we can increase the number of places and then we can release the labor force in the families. Mr. Leung Yiu-chung, recently the summit on poverty has been held. So I want to know about the follow-up issues and I want to know about the way forward. Well, we have a subcommittee on poverty. Well, in fact, come next Tuesday, we are going to have a meeting. So if we can't finish our discussion on that day, then we can schedule another time slot. Mr. Tang, before the summer recess, I think as a result of the incident at the Cambridge Home for the Aged, I want to know if the government can come back to talk about the residential and care homes for the elderly. So I want to know about the regulatory regime as well as the right to know. So I want to get a report on that. All right. Anything else that you want to have a discussion during the year? On my part, I have a few topics. But first of all, for the November meeting, for what you have suggested, probably some of them would not be ready on the part of the government next month, but probably for the case of lead in drinking water, the government should be ready. And then for child care, dementia, etc., probably the opportunity will arise. It depends on when the government is ready to come back.
As far as the November meeting is concerned, now the pay adjustment for this year has taken place, but in our sector, some service organizations have yet to make back pays to the staff. And I understand that the rate of adjustment for some of the staff members may not be pegged to the civil servants rate. So I want to know if we would only need an information paper or would we need a discussion as well. So about retrospective pay after the pay adjustment, it has to do with labor rights as well. Ms. Chen Yunhan, I think it's a matter of urgency. The FTU already raised this issue. So I think it is urgent. Thank you. Dr. Helena Wong. Well, I don't think we should just ask for information papers as far as lead in drinking water is concerned, Chairman, because by the time we ask questions, we may not have read the papers. So please put it on the agenda. I want to know the test results, which schools are tested or which centers are tested, and what is the amount of exceedance. We need a full report. Well, I think it's mentioned in the government's report, but perhaps we would like to know more details. In particular, as far as welfare units are concerned, what has been done by the government? What about other care homes? Well, they should do something about them, but so far they haven't done anything. Yes, we should ask them. All right, we still have an outstanding issue. I've been reminded by the clerk that if we are to discuss the pay adjustment in November, we may wish to invite deputations from the sector because they can give us their first-hand insight. And then there are two subcommittees I wish to mention to members. Under AOB, Subcommittee on Retirement Protection and Subcommittee on Strategy and Measures to Tackle Domestic Violence and Sexual Violence. The House Committee has approved to extend the period for Subcommittee on Retirement Protection. It will be extended to July this year, this legislative year, 2016, July. So I hope that there would be new developments. Otherwise, I don't know whether by July next year we'll be able to make a decision. Now, on retirement protection, there have been a lot of discussion in the community because recently the situation is really bad. It seems that the government is not considering universal retirement protection, and Professor Nelson Chow is grumbling. And they're going to conduct another survey to draw another line, and many scholars question whether this is true. So I think definitely the work of this subcommittee will have to be extended. The government is dragging on its feet, which is always our concern, but we at the same time should fulfill our responsibility. I agree that the subcommittee's work should be extended. All right, the other subcommittee on strategy and measures to tackle domestic violence and sexual violence, again, they'll be extended to the 2nd of February 2016. So if you have time and if you have yet to join either of these two subcommittees, and if you're interested, you can make an application. The Secretariat will inform you in due course. And for these two subcommittees, in this session, if necessary, new chairman and deputy chairman will be elected. So if there's nothing else under AOB, then meeting's adjourned. Thank you.